Welcome back to the panel's choice. Here we ask each panel member to pick a topic from this week that they feel is important to discuss. We'll start with Andrew's pick. The Chinese Communist Party is gloating over our disastrous withdrawal from Afghanistan.
Afghanistan was able to free itself from foreign military occupation, and the Afghan people have ushered in a new starting point of peace and reconstruction. The country has turned a new page in its history. China respects the sovereignty, independence, and territorial integrity of Afghanistan, and China remains committed to the non-interference in Afghanistan's internal affairs and pursues a friendly policy for all Afghan people.
Does China's entry into Afghanistan create larger problems for the U.S., or is the CCP simply engaged in more opportunistic propaganda?
Well, look, the propaganda is a key part of this, right? I would say that the Chinese Communist Party is looking for essentially four outcomes here. Of course, they want to establish that relationship with the Taliban, but the first thing they want to do is exacerbate the humiliation of the United States of America on the basis of this disastrous withdrawal. And under the leadership of the current occupant of the Oval Office, that's easy to do. So there's plenty of ammunition there. The second thing they want to do is lock down the border, the small, albeit small border, between Afghanistan and China. They don't want Uyghurs squirting across and then staging some sort of anti-regime movement. So that's the second thing. The third thing, which is, I would say, on the tip of many people's tongues these days, is access to the critical minerals and the rare earths that are there. They've already started exploiting those resources, and we've allowed it to happen. They've been able to enjoy the operations under the security umbrella that the United States has provided. It will be interesting to see how they deal with providing their own security. And the last thing is simply expanding their domination on the Eurasian landmass, which is what the One Belt, One Road initiative is all about, and I think we're pretty familiar with that. The bottom line is that this is a harbinger of things to come, and we need to pay attention to China because they are deadly serious about sinking their roots into Afghanistan.
Very interesting and not covered enough in this country, so thanks for the topic. Next, we have Dr. Shea's pick. On a similar tone, a serious U.S. foreign policy consequence of America's withdrawal is the credibility of the United States on the world stage.
Also interesting to see Chinese state media again criticizing the U.S., criticizing the strike on Sunday that reportedly killed 10 civilians in Afghanistan, and also interviews with U.S. veterans speaking about the defense industry's agenda not being aligned with that of the American people. So really the emphasis here in Beijing is about a reported failure of the American model.
So what does this mean for America's ability to defend itself from China's ongoing attack against the United States?
Well, some experts are saying that there isn't a threat to the U.S. Because of our withdrawal. But it seems that Andrew and I both agree that there needs to be attention paid to this. First of all, we compete with China for strategic ally security cooperation partnerships. And as Andrew said, they are having a great time ridiculing and shaming us on the world stage, saying if countries that we've invested in for years and years can't rely on us, then how can potential partners trust us? Second, this has opened a door to economic development into Afghanistan by China. The Belt and Road Initiative is actually China's main strategy in the great power competition against the United States, more so than foreign military sales. And they have stated their intent that they would like to have more opportunity for development in Afghanistan. Rare earth minerals, I'm sure that they're happy to exploit. Third thing is that, and something not often talked about, is that China already has ties to Pakistan. They're allies with Pakistan in that they have invested $60 billion in this Belt and Road Initiative to a China-Pakistan economic corridor, and they've signaled intent that they want to expand this corridor into Afghanistan. Taliban leaders agree with this. We have also, Pakistan is the greatest buyer of China arms. So as you can see, there's plenty of reason to be concerned about this because Pakistan harbors and supports the Taliban. So there are already very strong ties there, and certainly this is something that the administration should keep their eye on.
Very interesting, and it's concerning to think that, you know, for the last 20 years, the American people have been investing in Afghanistan, and China simply invested in Biden, and China ended up taking Afghanistan. But next up is Donna's pick. California businesses are leaving the state at twice the rate over the last year. Governor Newsom said diversity is on the ballot, but in reality, the economic stability of the state of California is on the ballot. Donna, what do you think?
Well, this is very important that people should be paying attention to because the Biden administration is actually using California as an example of what the United States should be doing. California, even their iconic industries like the Hollywood movie studios are moving to New Mexico, they're moving to Tennessee because of the punitive environment that they've created for businesses. And there's a big disconnect between the business community and the political class that think that will put down a policy like climate change that will add numerous days to a business venture and kill all the industries. In California, from 2009 to 2019, some 18,000 businesses left the state of California. And now this report, this research document shows that businesses are leaving at a faster rate. And so if Biden is going to enact those same policies, climate change, punitive climate change, excessive energy poverty, then we're going to see the same kind of decline in our country. And they're not going to have a state to move to. They're going to move out of the country.
It doesn't seem that anybody cares about the negative consequences. I shouldn't say anybody. Anybody in the Democrat Party cares about the negative consequences of policies like this.
Well, you know what? They will have an ideal of this utopia that exists in the United States. They have that ideal, but they don't do an economic impact study in how this affects families and communities. They always think that individuals are not trying hard enough. You know, defund the police was a great idea, and the crime went up not because the policy was wrong, but because people didn't put enough effort into making sure that defund the police was executed properly. So they never look at their policies and think they're a failure. And I think the fact that the news media doesn't give it enough attention really terrible because, you know, in that $3.5 trillion package, he has charging stations in underserved communities, millions of dollars for equipment that's never going to be used when electric cars only represent 2% of sales today.
Right. Very interesting. Thank you so much for the topic. Last but not least, we have Chris Farrell's pick. Judicial Watch continues to pursue the full declassification and release of FBI documents that officially launched an investigation of President Trump's 2016 presidential campaign, essentially allowing, quote, legal foundation for the ongoing coup against Donald Trump. Chris, this is years later, and we still have no real accountability. What's going on?
Right, years later. And Judge Nichols in the U.S. District Court for the District of Columbia had a hearing just the other day to allow the FBI, Department of Justice, to come in and explain yet again why they're withholding this information. The FBI lied before the Intelligence Committee. Our litigation forced the release of this information. The copy of the document that we currently possess shows that who I call Super Agent Peter Strzok, not Special Agent, Super Agent Strzok was the author of the document, the reviewer of the document, and the approver of the document. And this document is critical because it's the entire rationale for the FBI's espionage operation against the Trump campaign, the Trump transition, and the Trump presidency. the man personally, President Trump, and all those persons around him. It's the foundational piece they rested everything on. And, you know, sadly, Judge Nichols is giving the Department of Justice and the FBI like a fifth bite at the apple to come back and explain how they really, really, really can't tell us what's in this document.
Why are they saying they can't? What's the color of law, the legal justification?
Right. So what they're relying on is the fact that a liaison service, meaning one of our foreign partners, in this case the Brits, and again, this is something everybody knows. It has to do with Papadopoulos and a claim that he made supposedly in a bar. But because a foreign service and the legal attaché in London communicated with a foreign service to obtain information, I mean, this is also part of the phony predicate where they manufactured a foreign counterintelligence event in the UK and then imported it back into the United States because there's a legal prohibition on the FBI penetrating, running operations against U.S. political parties. So you have to manufacture a crisis overseas and then bring it back into the country and say, oh, we're just pursuing leads. This is everything Strzok did. This entire document has got to be released in full because the American public has to understand this vicious, savage lie that forms the foundation for this rolling, ongoing coup against the President of the United States.
Fascinating, watching it very closely. Thank you. Don't go anywhere. When we come back from the break, we've got Don't Be Fooled and the closing argument. We'll be right back.